Hello and welcome to A Life Well Spent. It is February 28th, so March is literally going to be here tomorrow. So I needed to get my budget finalized and I wanted to get that recorded and share it out so that it is available before the month actually arrives. And then at some point this week, I will close out my February budget and let you know how I did on my specific goals. If you have been watching, you know some of them have been met throughout the month, but there'll be a whole final wrap up. So, as you can see, if you have been here before, my budget looks a little different now. I am kind of toying with some new formatting and some new things. So, I previously was using, oh my God, I always do that. Let me see if I can figure out which one it was. Okay. I was previously using something that I modified. It was a free budget from Budget Girl. If you have not seen her videos or her journeys, you totally need to check her out. She's amazing. And everything has been so inspiring with the way that she was able to pay off debt and, manage her finances. So, at any rate, I kind of borrowed from her because I liked the idea of, all of these like individual categories and I could kind of track my expenses. And um briefly, I was usually using in most of these categories, I was actually just using cash. And then with the pandemic, that became a lot harder to do. And I found myself like I was ordering more online. I also didn't really want to carry cash. So I was spending more than I should have been. And I wanted to have a better way of keeping track of that. So I started doing this particular type of budget that has kind of like a specific tracker. But I also, as I have been using this particular budget for the last few months, I think I started my videos like November, December-ish, but I've been using this one for a while. I still kind of found that I wanted to see like how much money I was spending from week to week. Most of my household bills, like my mortgage comes out on the first of the month. I have most of my utilities to set up to pay on the first of the month as well. And almost everything like debt payoff, stuff kind of all came out within the first week of the month. And kind of the rest of the month is mine to do whatever I please with. And I kind of like it that way. I like that it's done, it's over with, and I don't really have to think about it. So like even like my sinking funds, all that kind of stuff, like I fund those at the beginning of the month, and I'm fortunate that I can actually do that. My paycheck does allow me to do that. So, or rather my two paychecks, because I have a full-time job and a part-time job. Although I'm not going to have that part-time job much longer. It is wearing on me, and I'm sort of I think I'm done. I really do think I'm done. So you'll notice you'll see when we do cash out. Oh boy. When I close out my February budget, you'll see what I did. Um as far as that goes. But that also then means that when I look at my March budget, I have actually only given myself about $250 for my second job because I think I'm probably only going to get one more paycheck. And I don't really know how much that's going to be. And I don't even know if when I resign, like, I don't even know if I need to give them like 2 weeks. So I've got to find that out. I'm supposed to have an evaluation with my supervisor. And I feel bad because she's a new supervisor. This will be my first evaluation with her. And I don't want to be like, hey, by the way, I'm quitting. But I'm going to have to. I don't know if I should just email her, find out what I need to do. I don't know. I'm assuming I'm going to need to send a letter and just formally resign. It's so hard. It's so hard because you know what? Like, oh my God, it's an extra like $700-800 a month. It's so hard to cough that up, but my sanity is unraveling. I think I am just having a really hard time. Pandemic probably does not help. And at first I was like, I'm stuck at home anyway. I wanted to quit over the summer. Let me just start there. And then I thought about it and I was like, my God, everything's shutting down. And I was kind of worried that like, if I ended up getting sick and I was, ended up being like one of the COVID long haulers or something like that, that like I'd have to take all this time off of work, time that I don't have, and then I'll have to take days unpaid and I would need money. And at least if I did this, like I can do this sitting down from home. So maybe I should hang on to the job. But it's kind of gotten to the point where it's just, I hate it. I hate it. My brain is fried. And I feel like if I just could come home from my normal job and do something that stretches my brain in a different way, not staring at a screen for another 3 hours. Um, I'm really big into quilting and sewing. I have two quilts for babies, friends' babies who are coming on two, and it was supposed to be for their shower. I have a quilt that I made for a friend as a housewarming gift. It doesn't even have a backing yet because I can't really find one that I like, and then the pandemic kind of made it really difficult to go shopping anyway, but that's actually pieced together. One quilt needs its binding on, another quilt needs the top pieced. And I have a bunch of projects of like Christmas stuff that I was going to do this year for Christmas. I just couldn't. I didn't have time with grading and everything. So I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I really miss doing a lot of other things. Um, I miss being able to like go somewhere on the weekends, like go camping or hiking or something like that, which doesn't need a lot of people necessarily. And it's outdoors, so it's much more safe, but I can't really do that because I spend my weekends grading. It's a real pain. And my health has deteriorated, my physical health. Like I have had such issues with my back, and I think that's because I'm doing so much sitting. And now my back is hurt to the point where like I can't stand for a long time. Like I can't even stand for a short time, like honestly a couple minutes, and I've got to sit down. It's like I've got to sit down and take a load off. Um, and like I've been to physical therapy for that. And like again, that's not helping. It's not even like I can do like a standing desk to kind of balance that out a little bit. Like what I need is to be able to move, to be able to just take time to stretch or lay flat or something. And the second job just isn't doing it. Just isn't doing it. So I think it's time to say goodbye to that. So right now I'm really only projecting $250 for myself. Like I said, I think I'm gonna get one paycheck. Depending on how long. I mean, if they make me work out 2 weeks, then I'll get paid my 2 weeks. We'll see if they let me quit immediately, which I hope they do. Then that will be it. Maybe should be a little bit more than that, but I can't really say for sure how much it'll actually be. So, ooh, it just like flapped my computer around. With that in mind, another problem that I had, or at least something that I was curious about, was how much I was spending week to week in like additional expenses. So I have in the past kind of hand calculated and broke down like housing bills. See, almost everything comes out in the first week. My Hulu comes out in the last week. And then like individual expenses throughout the week for totals to see how much I can do. And I have not actually finalized this yet. So it's probably going to look different in the wrap up video. So at any rate, it was kind of hard to keep track of all of that by looking in all of the different category boxes. So I came up with this transaction log, and I think I've done it correctly. We'll have to see how it goes. But what I'll be able to do is put a date in here. So let's say, actually, we'll do 1 March because that'll be my mortgage, let's say. And then, so I forgot when I hit A, it wants to do like drawing tools and stuff. What is my mortgage? It is 676.03. Okay. So, oh, just kidding. That needs to be negative. And then I've created, like, I have a master tab, though actually this will create drop-down menus for me. So then I can click on it. And what it should do is it should auto-populate into here and for my actuals, so I'll know exactly what I was spending where. Sweet. So I'm still working on figuring out a way to get it to actually populate from week to week to week, but I figure worst case scenario, I can just actually highlight, actually, let me show you over here. So the way that spreadsheets work, if you kind of like highlight a set of values, you get a sum at the bottom. So I can just kind of go in, like, let's say the first 10 are the first week, and just go in and highlight and then actually see, because it'll do a summary. Oh, I don't think it shows that at the very bottom. I think it's outside the window. Can I expand this window, do we think? Well, I pulled it down. Did that help? I don't think it. No, I don't think it went far enough. Oh boy. Let's go over here. Slide down here. Does that show? There we go. Let's see if that does it. Right here in the corner. So if I can highlight in some, so that's all I'll need to do to, like, if I can't actually figure out how to get them to populate automatically, I'm still working on it. But I would like to get them to populate automatically, and then I can kind of keep a transaction log. I know what I have spent. Not really sure why I'm deleting that, because that's going to be the first entry tomorrow. Oy, that was silly. Yeah, so I have a lot of things I'm doing. This I just actually utilized data validation to give me the list, and then it can populate in specific areas. So that's cool. I'm pretty excited to see how this works. I'm definitely pretty excited to see how this works. Okay, so what's under mom is my mother and I, we share a cell phone plan, so she gives me her portion of that. And we always had a deal when I went to school that they would pay for me to go to school. They wanted me to take out loans, they being my parents. And that was the agreement. So they've always just given me the money to pay on my student loans. So that's what that is. However, I am working towards paying the rest of them off. Like, I feel like my parents have had enough of a financial obligation fulfilled, and I am working on piling up some cash to do a payoff. Hopefully we'll get some student debt cancellation here, and then I won't have to worry about it. But in the meantime, I'm going to pile up some cash and get ready. That way, if it's not really going to happen anytime soon, or looks like it isn't going to happen at all, then I'll just pay it off. I'm sure I will probably get hosed again. So as a public school teacher, and I taught in poor rural areas, so I qualify technically for loan forgiveness. Except the cutoff date for loan forgiveness was something like October of my freshman year of college. So, which is stupid, because nobody takes loans out in October. The semester starts in August. So my loans came out in August. But like, if my parents had just said, let's see if we can just pay for this, like straight up just pay for it, and we won't take out any loans. This is the first semester, and we'll see how things go, and we'll see if we can afford it. And then just did, the first loan like the next year or January. Or if I just didn't go to school that first semester, although that wasn't going to happen because I was a fall sport athlete. So, at any rate, had they just waited a semester, forgiveness. 2 months. 2 months. I missed the cutoff by 2 months. And do you know what they told me? Oh, well, we had to put the cutoff somewhere. A, no, you didn't. And B, why October of that year? That's so stupid. If you wanted to start it with like that class of students, then you should have started it in the summertime. Anyway, just beyond irritated. So Nevertheless, I have a feeling that if a loan forgiveness program comes out, that's the nonsense I'm going to deal with. They're going to be like, oh, we'll forgive everyone before this time. Because that's my life. But at least I'll have the cash on hand and I can just pay it off then, at any rate. So, my giving, I've put it at $100, and I actually am starting to just put this into a fund for different giving opportunities. So, there are some places that I support directly, like with like a monthly, contribution. Um, and then others are just kind of like if I have the opportunity to help someone, because I'm finding like on Twitter and stuff like that, there's a lot of people tweeting out that like they know someone who needs help and things like that. And I'd rather just be able to kind of donate to someone directly like that for right now, especially with like folks in Texas with all the nonsense they're dealing with. People like dealing with the pandemic and being out of work and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm gonna keep it right now. Also because I really don't have the time to do my due diligence on organizations. So there's my mortgage, my electric, my gas, sewer, water, garbage. Garbage, I wasn't actually sure how to do this, and I still haven't figured out a way to do it. I only pay my garbage one time a year. So I just put like $15 a month into a sinking fund, and then in December I pay the bill when it comes. So, like, I'm technically not paying it this month, but I'm moving it into another fund. So I want it to count as like a monthly expense for myself, even though I'm not directly paying it. There's my internet, my cell phone, groceries. I'm giving myself $200. I think I've been doing a pretty good job of being under $200. I used to actually only do $100. And I would do like $25 a week, and I was pretty good about staying on that. And in fact, sometimes like I wouldn't even need that. And I'd have like build up and, could then kind of buy something in bulk that came in. But um, I'm going to keep it that way for now. We'll see. I did stock up on a lot of stuff pandemic related throughout the year when I went to the grocery store. Um, so I have a lot of stuff I can still utilize. Like I still have like lots of rice, I still have lots of pastas and things like that, so I can cook that stuff. So I think I'm gonna hold it at $200 in case I need some things, but I have a feeling I can knock that back down to $100 soon. At this point, I'm in kind of a like eat everything in my house mode. Um, Too bad I don't have a lot of produce in my house. My life insurance, it's just a term policy. It's $7.50. Um, Gas, this is vehicle gas because I need to drive about 45 minutes away to go take my certification exam. So that will definitely be a at least one fill up at some point or other. If it gets cold again, I may try to go skiing because I haven't yet. But it was like rainy today, like almost all our snow is gone. It's very sad. Um, and I may have to go buy some furniture. I really don't want to. I really don't want to, but I really may have to. So part of why I think my back is so screwed up is the bed I've been sleeping on. It's an old bed, although it hasn't really been slept on all that much in its lifetime compared to how old it is. It's probably every bit of 20 years old, but probably only has about 5 years worth of like actual sleep on it. Because it was in my parents' guest bedroom, and I took it with me when I moved into my house or when I bought my house, and it was upstairs. And I've been in this house almost 4 years, sleeping downstairs, not upstairs in the bed. So it's not had a lot of use. And I did that because I had dogs and they couldn't make it up the stairs, and there's a whole involved story there that I'm not going to get into. But I have a day bed that I bought from IKEA, which I freaking love. But there's no getting it upstairs. and it's just a twin bed because I thought, well, I'll turn it into like just a couch kind of thing downstairs, or hey, a guest bed, whatever, with a Casper mattress. And oh my God, I love Casper mattresses. I love that mattress. It's so comfortable. And the bed upstairs is not a Casper. It's like it's a 20-year-old mattress. It is not comfortable. Like there's like it sinks in places. Um and yesterday was being really stupid, and I was not paying attention to my life at all. And I was washing my sheets and I realized I didn't give myself enough time to dry them before I wanted to go to bed. So I had to sleep downstairs on my couch, my daybed couch. Um, and it actually, I think, ended up being a really good thing because I woke up. This is the first time in a long time that I've woken up and my back has not been awful stiff and just like killing me. And I thought, in the back of my mind, I thought maybe it was the mattress. And I'm a little bit more convinced of it now. So I'm going to sleep down here a little bit more and see how that goes and see if it really is like, it really does make my back feel better. And if it does, like, I really don't want to continue to sleep downstairs. I think I'm just going to have to suck it up and get a bed and a new mattress. Which the mattress I'm getting from Casper because that's so comfortable. But the bed, I have my eye on the bed that I want. It's from IKEA, and IKEA is like 2.5 hours away. That's definitely going to be another tank of gas. So I kept gas at 100 just in case I have to take a road trip to get some furniture. House garden, $100. I'm not even sure I spent anything out of that last month. We'll have to see. I kind of don't remember. There's my $40 to restaurant, $150 for personal. I can probably actually ramp that down, but I'm keeping it the way it is now because I feel like as long as I have budgeted for it, that's better than not. And I'd rather be able to say like, oh man, I have like $300 extra that I didn't spend from my budget that I can put on something else. There's my student loan payment. Not doing anything with my PCERS payment right now. I do think I really am leaning towards just trying to pile up that much money in, a mutual fund, a brokerage account, something, and invest it myself. I did block off the beginning and ending balances because I haven't done that particular video yet. The closing out of my budget. So right now I have a remaining of 1,397.39. I do practice a zero-based budget. So what I'm going to do in here, I have included in my sinking funds $50 to car repair, which is the same every month, $16 to my Nittany Lion Club, $15 to garbage, $74 to my giving fund because, oh no, I just realized if I put this up here, it's going to double count, won't it? And it's going to double count that. Oh no, that's not good. Now I gotta figure out how to do that. Because ultimately, part of my giving fund, the 16, part of this $100, 16 comes out of there for the Nittany Lion Club. 10 comes out for a thing that I already do. And that's 74 is left. But now that looks like I'm double counting that in my totals. I gotta figure out how to make that work. Ooh, I don't know. Okay, I have to recalculate some things. But for right now, car insurance, I put $59 a month. They pay it every 6 months. So What this means is I have this new student loan fund, which is where I'm going to be piling up cash to put in. So 1397. That's what I'm going to budget so that I have a remaining balance of 0. And if I need to adjust some things here and there based on like what my actual amounts are, I think I was trying to play around with some things there. We'll see what actually goes in. So that'll be interesting. See, in the other one, I had a giving fund that I had like a thing that broke down what I was giving where. And I didn't count this. Like all of these were kind of broken out separately. Boy, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I have to think about it. Gonna have to think about it. Anyway, that's the budget for March. I will once again do a weekly check-in, see how I'm doing, see how my spending is going. I am already furious. My electric bill went up $20. I've lived in my house now, it'll be 5 years in July, and my electric bill has never been that high, ever. So, and I just got that in. So I'm going to have to call the electric company on Monday and find out. It's actually $20 higher than it normally is. So I'm pretty annoyed. I haven't done anything that would cause it to need more, my house to need more electricity. Like nothing has changed. In fact, I initially thought that it was, the work that I got done in the house, like maybe they were like pulling a lot of electricity throughout the day with their equipment or whatever. But the day that they came to do that would have actually been on the last month's bill. So that's the only thing that's really any different. And that was last month, not this month. I mean, it's rarely in the there's probably like 5 or 6 months that I've even been in the $40 range. And it's $60 suddenly. I'm pretty peeved. I want to know what it is. That does not make sense to me. Nothing makes sense to me. Everything that I'm like, okay, well, I put in smart plugs, but they're not going to pull $20 worth of electricity, and there have been times when like, I've left an occasional light on here or there, which again is not going to do $20 worth. So I'm pretty irritated. And it said it was like an actual reading, not like an estimate reading, which was my first thought. But then my other thought was, why would they even estimate that $20 higher than what I'm really doing? Because they can have 4 years of 4 years of Januaries to go back to and see what I spent on, or Februaries. I guess it's January to February. They have 4 years of them, or 3 years to look back at. So that's incredibly irritating. My natural gas is a little high. This is the highest month. It will start coming down from there. So we'll see. It always gets a little bit higher in this month because I do a lot of baking. I bake bread. I do a lot of like soups and stews and braises and stuff. So my oven can be on a lot. That's okay. It's like $22 in the summertime because I don't cook in the summertime. But like even so, to put this electric bill into perspective, even on days like the highest I've ever had was $49 a month, and $49 and change, and that was in like August when I was running my air conditioner almost every day because of my dogs, and it still didn't hit $60. So it can't be hitting $60 suddenly. And that doesn't even like last month was 40 something, right? Need to go back. What was my electricity last month? Last month it was $41.99. And do you know what was included in last month? Christmas break, so I was home all the time. Because, pandemic. Christmas, which means my tree lights were on all the time. And still $41.99. So I'm going to be calling the electric company and getting an explanation for that one. I'm not pleased. And if there is like a legitimate reason that I like something's plugged in that is true, then I'm going to unplug it. Like even my exercise bike, that thing isn't even really on. It goes to sleep. And it's not going to be $20 worth. So, yeah. Stay tuned. Maybe my budget wrap up video for the week, I'll talk about that. Hopefully I've gotten a hold of somebody there. But anyway, this is dragging on long enough. Thank you so much for watching these videos. Thank you for those of you subscribing, liking, leaving comments. I do really appreciate your support. And this is not easy. It's not easy to be this open with your finances and with your life. It's actually really scary, especially being a woman on the internet. So I really do appreciate anybody who takes the time to watch these videos and to comment. So if there's any questions that you have about like how I set this up or, you know, how I do my budget, anything like that, just leave it in the comments below. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.